Hello. So I'm just making you this quick video to go over a few things that you'd want to think about with posture and just for your daily activities. So with things like cleaning and just different positions that you'll find yourself in with all your regular functional activities of daily living. So main thing is you want to get comfortable and familiar with the muscle called transversus abdominis. So it wraps around your waist like a girdle. When you contract that muscle, it just pulls in around your waist like a girdle. It doesn't flex or extend your trunk or move your back at all. So when you're doing those pelvic tilts, you don't need to do a tilt to do this exercise. So main thing is you want to be able to really find neutral pelvis, neutral spine. And that's again when you've got that natural curve in your low back, you're not too arched, you're not too flat, and then getting that transversus to contract, you're just again pulling in around your waist like a girdle. So that's the one main thing. And then as well, if you have if any of your practitioners have talked to you about pelvic floor and just adding that in. So pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that stop the flow of urine, those are the muscles that we're learning to pull in like an elevator. But as much as you want to learn how to contract those muscles in and up, you also need to be able to completely let them relax. So it's not about going around and doing Kegels all day. It's about having that awareness of learning how to pull those internal muscles in and then also completely let them relax and turn off, because there can be issues if it's too weak or if there's too much tone and it's too tight and held in that like tightness. So learning that balance of lifting the pelvic floor muscles, activating the pelvic floor, but also relaxing them, partnering that along with that transversus abdominis, the muscle that pulls in around your waist like a girdle. So you want to be practicing that transversus in different positions. So while you're on all fours, if you're setting up to go into a cat stretch, you want to get that feeling of drawing that navel into your spine in neutral without it changing your back. So I can show you that. And then while you're lying on your back, lying on your stomach, lying on your side, anytime you're doing exercises, even as you're getting into, when you're going to do that one glute stretch, as you're laying on your back and you go to pull a leg in towards you, learning how to just draw in that transversus abdominis, gentle pelvic floor, so that you've got that support. Then when you have that mastered, that's as well what you're going to carry through on your activities of daily living. So when you're reaching forward to clean something, again, thinking about opening through here, but drawing that navel around your spine. So if we're in all fours, if we're on all fours to get into a cat stretch, again, just trying not to sink in here, pressing your body away. Breath in. As you exhale, just get used to trying to pull that belly button in, lift the pelvic floor. Breathe in, round through into that cat. Inhale there, and then lengthen out. But again, just getting used to how can I pull in that girdle without it making me tilt or shift. So that's a big one. And then as well, what's happening with your shoulder girdle. So anytime when it comes to posture, being really mindful of what you're doing, how things are affecting the collarbones and opening up through there. So being mindful that you're able to open up through the chest and pecs. If you're the type of person that gets a lot of tension here and hunches forward and rounds, you want to just be quite mindful that you're able to open up. And then picturing those scapula, picturing your shoulder blades gliding back into your V. So I noticed one of your exercises from your physio was to do that retraction with the band. So setting yourself up for that posture at the beginning where you're thinking, okay, my lumbar spine's in neutral, so I'm not too arched, with that big indent, and I'm not too flat, kind of slouching. So being able to get neutral through the pelvis and lumbar spine, and then setting up through the chest and the rest of the posture. So thinking of that string lengthening up through your head, thinking of opening up through your collarbones, so that's nice and wide, your blades into that V, and then as you're set up into that exercise, you're going into that full movement, but already starting with relaxing your neck and shoulders. If you go to start an exercise and you're already tensing your shoulders up by your ears, that's just going to further exacerbate any of that, any neck issues, shoulder issues. So being mindful of opening through here, being mindful of these shoulders loosening down from your ears, and then what's happening with that low back. Are you able to find that neutral? Are you still arching or going into that posterior tilt, so slouching or overarching? So finding neutral in your daily activities. So when you're, notice some of the times that pain is creeping up, and then apply those neutral principles and being mindful of what's going on with your neck, shoulders, and what position you're in with posture. So that string lengthening you up, that opening across your chest, is your pelvis and spine in neutral, and then adding on that transversus, pulling in around your waist like a girdle, getting used to being able to lift the pelvic floor, but also being able to completely relax the pelvic floor. And then when you're setting yourself up to clean something, you're again, okay, pulling in that girdle, doing that little lift, finding that neutral, and then getting into that position. As well, when you're doing your exercises that the physio gave you, again, being mindful that you're setting yourself up and changing positions with that posture element. So, when you're lying on your back and you're going into your glute stretch or that piriformis stretch, making sure that as you lay there to get into that position, you're not tensing your shoulders forward. That's not going to work there. You're not rounding forward and having the shoulders up at your ears. So as you're lying on your back, you're able to stay very open. You're able to get the head in the right position. And then as you go to lift one leg or to change onto the next leg, still having that mindfulness of that girdle around your waist and that gentle lift and support. So those tips, putting neutral, pelvic floor, transversus, what's going on with the shoulders, what's going on with the spinal position, and then as well adding the breath. The breath will help give you that stability as well. So with the Pilates breathing, we think about that 3-dimensional breath pattern where we're inhaling into the backs and sides of the ribs, into the lower lobes of the lungs. Breathing back in through here. You want to really expand, take those deep breaths back in here. It helps to avoid any shallow chest breathing. So when you're breathing a bit deeper and back into the lower lobes, you can take those deeper breaths. And then, so we're inhaling through the nose, and then as we exhale, it's as though, it's called pursed lip breathing. It's as though you're blowing out through a straw, blowing in a birthday candle. It's that pressure, that forced out expiration that helps activate transversus abdominis, that pulling in, that girdle around your waist. The muscle just flattens the abdominal contents. It doesn't act like rectus abdominis, which flexes your spine. That's why we can contract that muscle, and it's best contracted in neutral, and that neutral pelvis, so meaning without an arch, without a slouch, and then just getting used to training that muscle when you're doing different activities and you're in different positions. So when you're standing, when you're sitting, lying on your back, lying on your side, if you do any side exercises where you're lying on your side and you're doing like hip abduction, hip lifting your leg out to the side, again trying to feel that girdle pulling in, and then being mindful of all of the other tips of opening your collarbones, getting the blades down. When you're busy, you, again, busy, stressed, if you're doing an activity or a work task that's got you running off your feet a little bit more, again, noticing when you're in those a bit more stressful situations that you can take some of the deep breaths and really relax your shoulders, because sometimes when we're busy, rushing around, a bit stressed, lots of things on the go, sometimes we don't realize how much those shoulders are tensed up by the ears. So being really aware that you can let those shoulders relax and release makes a big difference. So use the breath to your advantage, use the breath to calm you, to relax your any unnecessary tension, as well use that neutral pelvis and spine and neutral through the neck and shoulders to relax any of that unnecessary tension. Use the breath to breathe deep, get that oxygenation going, and let it as well help to stabilize. So as you do that forced out breath where you can feel your belly button pulling in around your waist without it changing your back, and then adding some mobility things like cat stretches. And when you're setting up for those cat stretches, again, okay, I want to open through my chest, I want to bring my blades back so you're not cramping the shoulders up by the ears, makes a huge difference. So hopefully that helps with some of the functional daily stuff, and we can definitely go over more of that, but I just wanted to send you this quick video to get you thinking about the breath, that neutral pelvis, what's going on with the neck and shoulders. So that's it. So again, this is Lisa Khera from In Balance Pilates. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.